I've been at this for practically 40 years. And when I came to the university, the medical school full-time, I was somewhat frustrated by the fact that students were not using the microscopic slides, getting anything out of them that I thought was important. So initially what I wanted to do was simply take some photomicrographs, some still images from their own teaching set. The slides that the students have, the box of slides that they're supposed to study, and I wanted to incorporate those into my lectures. And that was 35 millimeter days. You know, we had a microscope that had a camera on it. They take some pictures of it, and I would incorporate it into my lectures. So I could say, that's from your set. Or if later they said, I've never seen that, I said, well, that picture right there came from your microscopic slide. You know, you should have seen it. All right. Well, that evolved into photographing, taking several photomicrographs of every single slide, several magnifications, and building it into basically a atlas and a lab manual that would be unique to the slides the students here at Bloomington had to study. Well, since all of those were eventually capable of being digitized, we digitized it and converted it to a website, and that was my first experience with that. And that aspect didn't really change. There were refinements of that as it went along, even though my part of it consisted only of still images. This was prior to virtual microscope days. But it allowed me on each web page then to have extra space, extra screen real estate, if you want to use the term, to have other images or questions or pictures of maybe what a gross specimen would look like, or what an endoscopic, you know, if they, you know, put the tube down your throat to look at your stomach and an ulcer, to have a photograph of that. I could put that alongside of the still image that I'd taken from, let's say, a stomach ulcer. Making those case-based things for those first 2-year students. And we did screwy things. I became an angel and a devil. I'd dress up as a cowboy. I did all sorts of oddball things. And I had recorded messages from the Pope. I had recorded messages on the phone from your mother and things like that. And you might say, well, that was kind of fun. So there was a certain comedic aspect to this. But I heard one day down in our computer cluster, one student say something, which is what I had wanted to hear for a long time. He says to the other person, he goes, be sure you click on every link. You never know what you're going to see. But I have a lot of links within each page, not a lot, but some links within each page that provide the content I'm trying to reinforce. And I want them to click on that, open up a little pop-up window, maybe has a picture of, we were talking about a stomach ulcer, maybe a picture of a stomach ulcer, and then just a 4 or 5 line or bullet point thing review of what's the important stuff here. Well, if they're flying through it, they're not going to want to hit all those links, and they didn't. But when they realized that there may be some screwball thing show up, they did. And that turned out to have the desired effect, shall we say. Plus, it gave me a chance to cut up in front of a camera.